Hey everybody, this is Kanan with the Movie Boys. I'm back with another box office projection. So I just wanted to quickly go over the results. This probably won't be too long of a video because we only really have one or two movies to talk about. So pretty quickly, like I've said in the other videos, we're really trying to get this number right. This number is the per theater average. The baseline we're using is 3,500 per theater. So that's the number we're really trying to get because we can't technically know exactly how many theaters are going to be showing every single movie. So we use that baseline to try and figure it out. Um, and then if we get that right, then that's the number we're really trying to see correct because we can never exactly tell. So going into that, Hoppers, we had it at 11,714 per theater. It opened in 4,000 theaters, I believe is what it was, 4,000 rather than that 3,500 number. So we were really, actually really close on the per theater average. Scream 7, we were pretty relatively far off. Didn't think it was going to drop as much as it did. It dropped 73% rather than 63. Pretty bad. Um, as for Goat, we had it at dropping 42%. It dropped 46%. Per theater average, though, was really close, 1961 compared to 2000. The Bride was another one we tried to project last week. It did not go well. That one bombed pretty bad. Um, Wuthering Heights, you may have seen last week if you did watch it. I had the Peaky Blinders movie here. Um, they didn't put the disclosed numbers on how much that made, so I wasn't able to even tell how accurate that number was. But in the video, I also mentioned that if it's not that, I think it'll be Wuthering Heights, and I did say 3.5 million. So that just happened to be really close, 1481 compared to 1400. So we just kind of got lucky with that one. We didn't do a whole lot of thinking on that one. But yeah, and then total box office 108 compared to 94. Not great, but not awful. Definitely don't want to overshoot it. Don't want to make a habit of doing that. So as far as reminders of him goes, these are the comps I used. I only gave a 10% weight to It Ends With Us just because I think that's a unrealistic opening for this one, but it is the same book, the same author rather, and it's the same type of movie. So I did use it as a comp, even though that opening is not going to be used that much. So the others, another Colleen Hoover book, and then these are just sort of similar in vibe. So you'll see these numbers. I got the averages here, inflation adjusted and everything. And then here we have the averages for each number that we got. So we're not going to be using the inflated final. Um, we're just going to be using this weighted final. I don't think it's going to make a ton, but I also don't think it's going to do horribly. I think 13 is a good number to go based off of. 3,714 is what I have as the per theater average. So um, that's really the number we're going for. And if it opens in more theaters or less theaters and ends up being that, then we'll feel good about that. So overall, 13, not too bad. Sorry, I was supposed to say reminders of him, but looking at the others doing projections, he actually has 13 at the ceiling. This is box office theory. And then Undertone, we'll talk a little bit about that one. We didn't do a full projection for that one, but we do have a number for it at least. Deadline does have reminders of him at 10 to 15. That's what apparently the traditional studio tracking, according to Box Office Theory, has it at 10 to 15. So we'll see on that one. And then Polymarket, if you're curious, does have um, this would probably be something I bet on if you think it's going to make less than 13 million. They obviously don't think so, but if you think it's going to make less than 13 million, you can make a pretty dang good profit on that. if that's correct. So I have it right at 13 million. Obviously, we always want to undershoot rather than overshoot, but obviously we'd just like to be completely right. But people seem to be pretty confident it's going to make quite a bit of money, at least compared to box office theory and even Deadline's numbers. So um, overall, I think you can look at the ratings for it so far. 64, Undertone 79. So not horrible ratings here. Um, so the buzz should be okay. That's how I got the adjustments for it and everything. These are my scores for comps, market momentum, competition, timing, and the buzz. And right here, we just have that total. And like I said, we do 3,500 theaters. So I'll just go down to what we're actually going to be looking at for the projection this weekend. So for Hoppers, we have it at a 37% drop. Not going to really bet against an animated movie with talking animals that has a 93, 94. I think people are going to want to go see it. So not a far drop at all, 25. Reminders of him, I have a 13 million opening, 3714 Undertone. I have it at 8. We didn't do a ton of looking into that one. Really, we just mainly went on reminders of him. Um, but Undertone, hopefully it'll make more. Hopefully, I've heard it's a pretty good one. If anyone's seen that, would love to know what your thoughts are on that. I don't know much about it other than it's a auditory horror movie. So as far as the others, Scream 7, I have another big drop, 64%. Goat, I have another relatively small drop at 46%. So I think it'll be still make pretty good money for what it is. And then moving on to the total, I do have it at 75. I think it might make a little bit more than that, but I'm not trying to overshoot it like I did last week. So we'll see what happens with that one. As for this weekend, that is going to be all. Um, Next weekend, I will be adding some more ways of doing this. So right now, this is kind of our main metric, or is this impact score that we've been trying to use compared to comps and stuff like that. And it's been okay, but hasn't been great. Well, it's been kind of a two for two hit. So we're going to try to use a couple more traditional studio tracking measures that Deadline, Box Office Theory, people like that use, and then we're going to put our own kind of touch on them. That's going to be for Project Hail Mary. So next week should be a big weekend with Project Hail Mary. I'm really excited for that one. You'll see the highest rating, 21% prediction on Project Hail Mary, just making it over 90 million. So if that stays true, that's going to be our biggest opening of the year by a lot. I think Hoppers was or no, Scream was 63 roughly. But yeah, that'll clear that easily if this holds. So hopefully it'll be a good weekend next week, and we'll do a little bit more deep diving into those numbers. But yeah, overall, let me know if there's any things that y'all think I should consider when finding these numbers, any other metrics I should use, anything like that. And also let me know your thoughts on how you think these movies will perform this week and next week. If you think Reminders of Him will bomb, or Undertone will bomb, or anything like that, or if you've seen them, if you liked them, anything like that, I would love to hear about it. But yeah, otherwise, hopefully, it should be a good weekend. So, bye.